I'm going to move on to this story. Hillary Clinton's emails back in the spotlight. A new batch of messages released by the State Department. It shows that passwords and schedules flowed freely over her homebrewed server. This supporting claims that Julian Assange made during his interview with Fox News' Sean Hannity, saying even an inexperienced hacker could have gotten access. Watch this.
Right.
Podesta gave out that his password was the word password. His own staff said, this email that you've received, this is totally legitimate. So this is something a 14-year-old kid could have hacked.
Herman, your thoughts?
My thoughts are, Hillary Clinton and your supporters, look in the mirror. Don't blame the messengers, blame the message. I mean, to be that cavalier about security with respect to emails, it's their own fault. They have no one else to blame but themselves. They want to blame it on Assange. They want to blame it on Russia. They want to blame it on any and everything that they can except themselves. That's really the bottom line. Now, the other thing that you don't hear them talking about, the content of the leaked emails is what revealed some things to the American people that they don't want to talk about. They keep trying to play the blame game. It is not working.
And Mike, I'll point out again, we talked about this. James Clapper said yesterday that the no votes were tampered with by this alleged hacking by Russia, period.
Absolutely.
It was information that came out, but it was not a hack of our election, as Democrats would lead you to believe.
Correct. And the election's over. I think, Herman, it's Mike Murphy. I think what we really need here right now in this country is some common sense. You know, I think we need to start focusing on what's good for all of America, not black versus white, not Democrat versus Republican. And you mentioned earlier that you're not going to get everyone to come on board, and you're never going to please everybody, obviously. But I think the greater good for the entire population is if we really start to look at our new president and judge him on what he brings to the table. And I'm excited for it. I think the market is excited for it. So I just think we need more common sense and less drama in the media.
I had a psychologist call my show one day and pointed something out, that there are several stages of grief. First is denial, and the second is anger. And what the Democrats haven't done, most of them haven't gotten past denial, and they are in denial and still angry before they get to acceptance. The latest things concerning Russia and emails are just another example of them trying to shift the subject, because they are still in denial and they are still angry. But as you said, Mike, when they start to see the positive results, some of them have already started, and Donald Trump hasn't even been inaugurated yet. When they start seeing some of these other positive results, some of the people will come to grips with, we have new leadership in the White House.
About the Russian hacking, Herman, so President-elect Trump will receive that intelligence briefing on the hacking this coming after. The president received it yesterday, and those Senate hearings that found, as I pointed out, no impact on the elections from that hacking. Regardless, the Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, testified. Here's something else he said at that hearing yesterday.
Russia has clearly assumed an even more aggressive cyber posture by increasing cyber espionage operations, leaking data stolen from these operations, and targeting critical infrastructure systems.
Herman, your thoughts on this? And I'll point out that Mr. Trump has nominated Dan Coates, a former Republican senator from Indiana, to replace James Clapper. And this longtime lawmaker's view on Russia is pretty tough. His views are kind of in line with many in the intelligence community. Versus, you know, and so maybe that gives people who are worried about it a little bit of relief.
Yes. My reaction to James Clapper's report and him going to brief President-elect Trump, 2 words: why now? Politics. Why now? They want to shift the subject away from Donald Trump's inauguration. They want to shift the subject away from his very strong set of nominees, like the one you talked about. That's why now, because there's no other justification. Secondly, the reason that they are making the media, not you all, making a big deal about this, is that Donald Trump has said, show me the proof. There is no proof. And Clapper had to come clean and say it didn't impact the election. So Donald Trump is saying, okay, I'll sit down and listen to what you have to say. Why? Because that's what leaders do. It's not going to change his mind. It's not going to change the minds of the American people. But leaders listen, even if they don't believe that there's any there.
Herman, it's Kevin Kelly. I actually think I have a different take on this kind of Russian hacking situation right now. They did it to undermine our democracy, and they actually wanted what the Democrats are giving them right now, making a big hubbub about it, showing that they have this prowess, they can hack our systems, that they can basically influence our election and actually have sway over us. And I think the Democrats are playing into that hand. It's actually empowering Vladimir Putin and Russia. Guess what? We kicked out all their intelligence people here in the country, and Russia's like, yeah, we're good over here. You can keep yours because we own you. Now, what do you think about this? Do you think the Russians are actually coming out ahead because of the Democrats?
Yes, it's making Russia appear to be bigger than they are. It's making them appear more influential in the world than they are. And Putin is playing the media, and he's playing the Democrats like a fiddle. I agree with you, but that's a whole different discussion. The focus ought to be on how do we tighten up our security, not how do we blame the Russians more. And this kicking out Russian diplomats, all of this show of, it's just bluster, quite frankly. It's not going to impact the thing. That suggests that Mr. Coates, along with the intelligence community, have got to button up their act going forward. And all this is doing is making Russia appear bigger than they really are.
Herman, great to see you, as always. I've gotten to see you,
twice,
once in person in the last week and a half.
My lucky 2017.
No,
yes.
I'm the lucky lady. Herman, it was great to see you.
Thank you,
Herman
dear.
Cain.
All right.